Starting with the big story of the day, Thailand's opposition parties have won the most number of seats. However, the Move Forward Party and the Pure Thai Party will need support from smaller parties to establish a new administration. The Move Forward Party's leader has said that he's ready to be Prime Minister. He would seek the support of 5 parties, including the Pure Thai. With this, the people of Thailand have clearly rejected the country's military-backed parties. Turkey's President Recep Tayyip Erdogan and his political rival Kemal Kılıçdaroğlu are locked in a tight race. Neither of the two leaders have been able to secure 50% of votes to win the election. Erdogan's current share of votes stand a little over 49%. Kılıçdaroğlu's stand at almost 45%. If no candidate secures more than half the votes in the first round, then a runoff will be held on the 28th of May. The head of Russia's Wagner mercenary group has reportedly offered to reveal the positions of Russian troops to the Ukrainian government. The offer was reportedly made in January. The Wagner chief allegedly said that he would offer intel if Ukraine withdrew its soldiers from the city of Bakhmut. The Wagner group has been at the forefront of the battle in Bakhmut. The fighting in the city has been going on for months now. Ukraine reportedly rejected the Wagner chief's offer. France is all set to send armored vehicles and light tanks to Ukraine. This comes after Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky paid a surprise visit to France. He met French President Emmanuel Macron. Zelensky recently secured $3 billion in aid from Germany. According to reports, Ukraine is likely to launch a major counter-offensive operation against Russian forces in the coming weeks. Ukrainian President Zelensky is paying a visit to the UK. He's all set to meet British Prime Minister Rishi Sunak. This comes after Zelensky visited Italy, Germany and France. He's trying to garner military support for Ukraine ahead of the expected counter-offensive. Last week, the UK became the first country to supply Ukraine with long-range cruise missiles. G7 leaders are all set to target Russian energy and trade with new sanctions. Leaders from the G7 countries are set to meet in Japan this week. The new measures will seek to undermine Russia's future energy production and curb trade. The countries want to make it harder for Moscow to find gaps in sanctions. Pakistan is bracing for another tense day due to planned protests. Protests have been planned by the Pakistan Democratic Movement. They'll be held outside the Supreme Court against its alleged partiality towards PTI chief and former Prime Minister Imran Khan. The demonstrations will be held in Islamabad's Red Zone. The country's Interior Minister has asked the organizers to change the venue. Meanwhile, former Pakistan Prime Minister Imran Khan has leveled new allegations. He claims that the country's military has planned to keep him in jail for the next 10 years under sedition charges. He said, and I quote, "The complete Lahore plan is out and it is to humiliate me." Khan made these allegations after he held a meeting with his PTI party leaders at his Lahore residence. A rocket was launched from the Gaza Strip into southern Israel on Sunday evening. The incident broke the calm that was restored by a ceasefire. However, the ceasefire largely holds. Tensions escalated between Israel and Palestine last week. This comes after Israeli strikes killed top commanders from the Palestinian Islamic Jihad or PIJ group. Eritrean President Isaias Afwerki arrived in Beijing on Sunday. The visit comes on the invitation of the Chinese President Xi Jinping. The two leaders will hold talks with a focus on strategic partnership. They'll also exchange views on international and regional issues of mutual concern. This year marks the 30th anniversary of the establishment of bilateral ties between the two countries. According to the United Nations, more than 600 people have been killed due to the clashes in Sudan. Clashes between the Sudanese army and the Rapid Support Forces paramilitary group have been going on for a month. More than 900,000 people have been displaced since the conflict began on April 15th. Around 200,000 people have taken refuge in neighboring countries. Search operations continue in the Kenya starvation cult case. 22 more bodies have been discovered. With that, the death toll has risen to 201. According to autopsies, the deaths have been linked to starvation and asphyxiation. One more suspect has been arrested. The cult leader, Paul Mackenzie, remains in police custody. In Mexico, a tractor-trailer and a van crashed on a highway. At least 26 people have been killed in the incident. The two crashed vehicles caught on fire. Authorities rushed to the location of the accident, but they did not find the vehicle towing the trailer. All of the victims are thought to be from Mexico. In Canada, the province of Alberta is facing at least 87 active wildfires. 24 of them are considered out of control. And authorities say that the peak burning season is yet to come. The peak burning season period is when temperatures are at their highest and the natural foliage is at its driest. The state of emergency remains in place in Alberta. In New Zealand, the government has announced a flood and cyclone recovery package. It's worth over $600 million. The package is part of New Zealand's yearly budget. It covers infrastructure repair like the rebuilding of roads, railways and schools. It also aims to prepare for future weather events by investing in flood protection measures. In Myanmar, cyclone MOCHA has slammed into the western coastal state of Rakhine. It had wind speeds of over 200 kilometers per hour. The cyclone brought heavy rains to the country. Myanmar issued its highest level red cyclone alert on Saturday. MOCHA is said to be the strongest cyclone to have hit Myanmar in more than a decade. Flights to and from Rakhine remain suspended. Cyclone MOCHA also made landfall in Bangladesh's Cox's Bazar. The cyclone brought down trees and damaged houses. Around 500 makeshift shelters housing Rohingya refugees were damaged. More than 700,000 people have been evacuated. Some scientists in the UK have said that they are struggling to deal with the abuse from climate crisis deniers on Twitter. This comes after the sacking of those who ensured trusted content was prioritized on the platform. Climate experts have said that they're trying to make themselves heard on climate crises, but they're being met with a barrage of hateful and hostile comments. In the East African country of Kenya, 10 lions have been killed by herders. This includes one of the country's oldest lions. This is being seen as an escalated human-wildlife conflict that has worried the Kenyan government. Authorities and conservation groups introduced programs for herders whose livestock was destroyed by wild animals. However, herders have also been losing livestock due to drought. A platypus has been reintroduced in Australia. This is one of Australia's most unique animal species. The platypus has been reintroduced in Australia's oldest national park as part of a major conservation project. The platypus disappeared from the area around half a century ago. Vietnamese shoemaker Po Nguyen, Vietnam will reportedly lay off 6,000 workers at the end of next month. Po Nguyen Vietnam manufactures shoes for international brands like Nike and Adidas. It is one of the largest shoe manufacturers in the country. The company has blamed a slump in its orders and a weak macroeconomic situation for this move. Cryptocurrency exchange Binance is withdrawing from Canada. This comes after Canada issued a series of new guidelines for crypto exchanges. In recent months, Canada has tightened regulations for crypto trading platforms. This includes investor limits and mandatory registrations. Binance has said that it does not agree with Canada's latest guidance. The company added that it wishes to return to the Canadian market when the conditions are more supportive. Financial giant HSBC has agreed to settle financial fraud charges by a U.S. markets regulator. It has agreed to pay $75 million to settle the charges. The U.S. Commodity Futures Trading Commission had charged the company for manipulative and deceptive trading. The company has also been charged for failing to maintain proper records. America's Luminar Technologies' CEO, Austin Russell, will buy a majority stake in Forbes. The tech billionaire has agreed to acquire 82% of Forbes. He will buy the stake in the publisher at a valuation of $800 million. However, Forbes has said that despite his majority stake, Russell will not be involved in the day-to-day operations of the company. The U.S. health regulator has issued market denial orders to 10 e-cigarette producing companies. These companies collectively manufacture and market about 6,500 flavored e-cigarette products. The regulator has said that these companies cannot market or distribute the products in the U.S. As per reports, this was because the companies failed to show that permitting the products would be appropriate for public health. US automaker General Motors has said that it will recall nearly 1 million SUVs in the US. This is due to a defect in the vehicle's airbags that cause it to explode during deployment. The move comes after an incident where a driver suffered facial injuries after the airbag inflator ruptured during deployment. The UK's Postal Service Royal Mail's CEO Simon Thompson will reportedly step down later this year. This comes after Thompson was heavily criticised for his handling of the long-running pay strikes by postal workers. Throughout last year, the postal workers carried out several nationwide strikes demanding a rise in wages. That ultimately led to a deal last month which offered the workers a 10% salary increase. US lawmakers will reportedly ask regulators to investigate Elon Musk's brain chip startup Neuralink. They will investigate whether the panel overseeing animal testing at the company contributed to botched and rushed experiments. Older reports had shown that the oversight board had approved experiments that resulted in the unnecessary deaths and suffering of animals. Reports suggest that Netflix is planning to cut its spending by $300 million in 2023. Managers have urged employees to be judicious with company-related spending, including new hiring. However, reports add that there will be no hiring freeze or additional layoffs. Google has agreed to pay $8 million to settle claims by the Attorney General of the U.S. state of Texas. Texas's Attorney General, Ken Paxton, had accused the company of using deceptive advertisements to promote its Pixel 4 smartphone. Google allegedly hired radio announcers to give testimonials about Pixel 4 without allowing them to use one of the phone's variants. Moving on to sports. India bagged 3 bronze medals at this year's World Boxing Championships. Boxers Deepak Kumar, Mohammad Husamuddin and Nishant Dev lost in their respective semi-final bouts. As per boxing regulations, they finished third on the podium. With 3 bronze medals, India finished 4th as the World Championships concluded in Uzbekistan's capital city, Tashkent. In cricket, Royal Challengers Bangalore thrashed Rajasthan Royals in yesterday's match. The game was played at Jaipur's Savai Mansingh Stadium. Bangalore batters Faf du Plessis and Glenn Maxwell scored respective 50s. Their efforts powered Bangalore to 171 runs in 20 overs. However, Rajasthan were outclassed by Bangalore's pace bowling attack. Hosts Rajasthan were dismissed all out for just 59 runs. The Kolkata Knight Riders beat Chennai Super Kings by 6 wickets in yesterday's IPL match. The match was played at Chennai's M.A. Chidambaram Stadium. Knight Riders skipper Nitish Rana and in-form Rinku Singh smashed 50s each. Kolkata chased down Chennai's target of 145 runs in 18 overs. With the win, Kolkata remain in the hunt to qualify for the IPL playoffs. The Pakistan Cricket Board has appointed New Zealand's Grant Badburn as the men's team head coach. The former New Zealand all-rounder will coach Pakistan for the next 2 years. Bradburn was in charge during Pakistan's recent home series win against New Zealand. Previously, he had served as Pakistan's fielding coach from 2018 to 2020. In football, Arsenal were handed a 3-0 home defeat by Brighton in the Premier League. Brighton's Julio Enciso, Dennis Undave and Pervis Estupinian scored in the second half of the game. Arsenal looked deflated throughout the match as they suffered their 5th defeat this season. The Gunners stand at 81 points, 4 behind league leaders Manchester City. Manchester City beat Everton 3-0 in yesterday's Premier League match. Ilkay Gundogan scored twice for Man City. Meanwhile, striker Erling Haaland and also scored a goal for his side. City have won 11 consecutive games and are the league toppers with 85 points. With 3 games remaining, City are favourites to win the Premier League title. Barcelona beat Espanyol 4-2 to win the La Liga title after 4 years. Striker Robert Lewandowski scored twice in the first half to give Barcelona a lead. Alejandro Balde and Jules Koundé also pitched in with goals to secure Barcelona's win. However, Barca had to end their celebrations early as angry Espanyol fans stormed the pitch. With yesterday's La Liga win, Barcelona clinched their 27th Spanish championship. Paris Saint-Germain beat Ajaccio 5-0 at home as Messi returned to the PSG squad. Kylian Mbappe scored 2 goals for PSG. Fabian Ruiz and Achraf Hakimi added to PSG's tally. Ajaccio's Mohamed Youssef scored an own goal to add to their woes. PSG are now closer to winning their 11th Ligue 1 title. In basketball, the Los Angeles Lakers beat Golden State Warriors 122-101 in the playoffs. LeBron James posted 30 points with 9 rebounds and 9 assists for the Lakers. Warriors shooter Stephen Curry was the game's highest scorer with 32 points. With the win, Lakers advance to the Western Conference Finals, where they will face the Denver Nuggets. Boston Celtics downed Philadelphia 76ers 112-88 in the NBA playoffs. Jason Tatum scored 51 points for the Celtics in the blowout game. The Celtics will face Miami Heat in the Eastern Conference Finals. Boston will look to replicate last season's Conference Finals victory over Miami. Actors Kate Winslet and Ben Whishaw were the top winners at the BAFTA Awards last evening. Winslet won the award for leading actress for her role in the drama series I Am Ruth. Meanwhile, Whishaw won the leading actor award for the autobiographical drama This Is Going to Hurt. Among the shows that received BAFTAs were I Am Ruth, Bad Sisters and Derry Girls. BAFTA award-winning producer Sharon Horgan has extended her support to the Writers Guild of America strike. While receiving her BAFTA last evening, Horgan said, "It all begins and ends with the writers." She added that all her projects in the US are on hold due to the strike. The 34th Annual GLAAD Media Awards doubled as a show of solidarity for the WGA strike. GLAAD's Director of Transgender Representation said that they support fair pay and fair working conditions. Meanwhile, writer Joel Kim Booster said that labor issues are queer issues. GLAAD is a widely used acronym for the Gay and Lesbian Alliance Against Defamation of the US. GLAAD Media Awards honor media for its representation of LGBT+ communities. The 76th Annual Tony Awards will not be televised as the WGA has denied a strike waiver request from the show's producers. Actor Ariana DeBose, who was set to host the awards, is likely to cancel if the strike continues. The 2023 Tony Awards are set to take place on the 11th of June in New York. Actor Javier Bardem is set to receive the Donostia Award at the San Sebastian International Film Festival. Bardem is being honored for career achievement after being in the industry for over 3 decades. The awards will take place between the 22nd and the 30th of September in San Sebastian in Spain. The city of Cannes has banned protests along the Croisset Boulevard during the Cannes Film Festival. France's labor unions are planning a protest on the 21st of May to oppose the government's pension reforms. The demonstration, however, will take place at a distance from the festival venue. The Korean music company HYBE has used AI to launch its latest artist in multiple languages simultaneously. The artist is named Midnatt and is an alter ego of K-pop singer Lee Hyun. His song Masquerade released in 6 languages, including Korean, English, Spanish, and Vietnamese. Singer Ed Sheeran's latest album, Subtract, has topped the UK music chart. Subtract is Sheeran's 6th studio album. It has also become the fastest-selling album of the year. The album comes a week after Sheeran won a copyright lawsuit in New York. Season 21 of music talent show American Idol is ready to announce its winner. A star-studded cast with show judges and singers has been set for the finale. Singers Keith Urban, Katy Perry, and Lionel Richie will perform during the ceremony. The finale will be telecast live on the 21st of May. Musician Enrique Iglesias had to drop out of a music festival due to pneumonia. Enrique was set to headline the Tecate Emblema Music Festival in Mexico last evening. He apologized to his fans and wrote that doctors had advised absolute rest.